Hi, I'm Dr. Crystal Collier, and here's what you need to know about binge drinking. More and more young people are making the decision not to drink alcohol and wait until they're older to try it. So, why are we even talking about binge drinking? You guessed it, it's all about the brain. Alcohol shuts off the frontal lobe, which is really dangerous, especially if we're in the first two phases of our brain's development, when we're growing our executive functioning skills. These are the skills that we need to grow up and become fully self-supporting adults with good relationship skills. So let's do a deep dive to really understand what's going on with binge drinking and our brain. The adult human body can only handle 1 to 2 serving sizes of alcohol before it becomes impaired. Unfortunately, many young people who drink fail to count their serving sizes and end up exposing themselves to toxic levels of alcohol. Speaking of toxic, alcohol is actually toxic because it's a toxin, a poison that causes disease in the body. In addition to it being toxic, alcohol depresses our central nervous system, our brain and spinal cord. So alcohol reduces your ability to think, coordinate movement, and accurately sense what's going on in your environment. When alcohol enters the body, it first goes through the stomach and small intestines, making it difficult to absorb nutrients or control stomach bacteria, which can lead to ulcers and interfere with food digestion. As the stomach pumps alcohol throughout the body, it makes its way to the heart and brain, where it interferes with how the brain communicates with itself, altering mood, behavior, and impairing thinking and coordination. It can wreak havoc on the heart, causing irregular heartbeat and pressure problems. But dude, check out what it does to the liver. Remember, our liver processes toxins out of our body for us, but alcohol makes the liver go into overdrive. Once our liver gets stressed and fatigued, it starts dumping the alcohol it can't process into the bloodstream. Over time, that can cause the liver to build up too much fat and fail to work properly. When too much alcohol causes the liver to start shutting down, alcohol builds up in the bloodstream, interfering with the brain's ability to control the body. Then, confusion, vomiting, and irregular breathing happen. When someone has alcohol poisoning, otherwise known as alcohol overdose, they're in danger of passing out or having a seizure. Their body can't produce enough heat, so they may get pale, blue, or clammy skin as they become hypothermic. The amount of alcohol in the bloodstream is measured by the percentage of alcohol to blood. This is known as blood alcohol concentration, or BAC. So, if a person has 4 drinks in 1 to 2 hours, they can have a BAC level of 0.10%, which means that they have 1 part alcohol for every 1,000 parts of blood in their body, way over the legal limit to drive. At 1 to 3 drinks of alcohol, an adult begins to experience problems with judgment, reasoning, and memory, along with relaxed feelings. That's why the legal limit to drive is 0.08. 2 to 4 drinks can result in exaggerated emotions and behaviors, lowered alertness, reduced coordination, and impaired perception, as well as reaction time. Higher levels of alcohol in the blood result in major confusion, the complete loss of mental comprehension known as stupor, coma, or even death. But it's critical to know that the amount of alcohol it takes to get a high BAC level is a lot less for women, because they typically weigh less and have more body fat, which reduces their ability to absorb alcohol. So 2 drinks may bring a man's BAC to driving impairment, while it only takes 1 for a woman. But for young people, it's critical to know that 90% of adults who get diagnosed with an alcohol use disorder began drinking in their teens. In fact, the earlier a young person is when they start drinking, the greater their risk of growing up and struggling with a substance use disorder. But delaying alcohol use till 21 protects young people from risk. Okay, but why does just delaying alcohol use until legally old enough protect young people from growing up and struggling with an alcohol use disorder? Because their frontal lobe stays on and gets to grow. Like the brain scans on the top row that show a person who has no alcohol or drugs in their system. Unlike the bottom row, which shows brain scans of someone who has used substances, which shuts the frontal lobe off and arrests neurodevelopment. And the research backs this up. Young people who delay have better impulse control, decision making, and judgment over their peers who started drinking alcohol early. So if you go to an event where there's drinking, it's critical to spot an alcohol overdose and know how to respond. If you suspect that someone has alcohol poisoning and is overdosing on alcohol, do not assume they'll sleep it off. Check for slow or irregular breathing. Call their name and shake them to wake them up. If they've got pale, blue, or clammy skin and look like they're in a stupor, keep them sitting upright, leaning forward to prevent choking. And stay with them while you call 911 and wait for emergency medical help to arrive. So now that you know your neuro, how will you take advantage of the brain's rule and use your executive functioning skills to make sound decisions about alcohol?